Leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still wanna think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like...
What's going on, family? This is your brother King Cam, and welcome back to Shifting the Culture podcast. And it is good to be back and be with the fam. So, man, let me know in the comment section what city and state that you're tuning in from tonight. Because, man, we want to get into a couple of different things. We want to get into a couple of... Oh, shoot. My bad. Yeah, we want to get into a couple of different things tonight, family. So... Let me disconnect this. Take this off. And then do this. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. So we want to get into a couple of different things tonight. So what I need everybody to do from Facebook, I need you to like and share. I need my Twitter family. I need the Twitter family to retweet. I need YouTube, like, share, subscribe. And to hit that bell to stay notified each and every time that we drop a video. And I need Instagram is not on here tonight. So, wa alaikum salam. But yeah, family, let's go ahead and share this out. Let's get the comments up. Let's get the engagement up so we can get as many people in the comment section and, as much engagement as possible, right? So, first we've been gone for about 2 weeks. Just working on a couple of different things, focusing on some things. So we was gone for about 2 weeks. So it's just good to be back in front of the family. Ideally, we want to start moving. We want to move to doing some in-person podcasts. So I'm working on that and trying to get that together. But going straight to the topic of the conversation tonight. Why is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad crooked? Hold on. I think I fixed it. But anyway. So the title of tonight's show is Accountability in the Black Community. Accountability in the Black community. And the reason why I wanted to talk about accountability in the Black community tonight is because we have a lot of different things that are taking place right now. The media cycle is crazy. The media cycle is crazy. Every day there's a news story that's coming out, especially because we're in an election year. And being in an election year, the news stories are designed to push you towards voting for a candidate. So you got that going on. Then we've been under this whole male and female relationship thing, this men versus women. And all of this stuff is being politicized. And it's a lot of blame that's being passed around. It's a lot of fingers that's being pointed. So I'm saying, where do we as a community begin to take accountability for some of this stuff? Because right now we all over the place. We are all over the place. This election year has people divided. This election year is causing us as a people to become divided over issues, policies, candidates, and things that have not benefited us in the past and are not going to benefit us in the future because we're not operating within the proper. We're not operating correctly. So, we say we want things to change, but then we're not mobilizing, we're not organizing, we're not strategizing in order to force change. And I think most of us are still under the idea that we're gonna get something for nothing. Meaning we don't have to put any work in, we don't have to apply any pressure, we don't have to do anything but ask, and we're gonna be able to get change. That's not how that's gonna work. That's not how that's gonna work. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that we're gonna be in heaven. We're gonna be in the hereafter if we make it. We're going to be in the hereafter, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have to work. There's no heaven without work. There's no freedom without work. There's no liberation without work. So if you are looking to really see black people free, because the reparations movement has gained a lot of traction. What's going on, Brother Nathan? Man, shout out to Brother Nathan. Shout out to Sister Nadia in the building. Assalamu alaikum, family. But the reparations movement is really building, picking up steam. And as the reparations movement is building and picking up steam, if we are to really be able to demand reparations, we're going to have to apply pressure. We're going to have to apply pressure to do that. If we really want to see change, we're going to have to apply pressure to do that. That's right. Freedom is not free. So I'm talking about accountability in the black community, in Black America, because we got to be accountable for that. It's a lot of, like I said, finger pointing going around. It's a lot of things being set up. The context is being set up that if black men aren't voting for a particular candidate, that they hate women. You got men who are not voting for another candidate and don't love this country. It's all type of narratives that are out there that have us so confused, and we're not even focused on what the mission is at hand, which is freedom, justice, and equality. Freedom and liberation for our people. That should be the mission, because no matter who get in office, no matter who takes that seat in January, wins that election in November, takes that seat in January, black people condition is still going to be the same. Black people condition is still going to be the same if we don't change our ways. So we got a lot of stuff. That's taking place, and having the wisdom is so important. And that's what the teachings have been able to help us with, and help us to know was the importance of knowledge. Because a lot of stuff has gotten by, and a lot of stuff has skated past us because we have been out of the loop, knowledge-wise, wisdom-wise. So because we've been out of the loop, knowledge-wise, wisdom-wise, people have been able to pull the wool over our eyes. And today that's not taking place no more, because black people are becoming more politically astute, even though we got work to do, but we are becoming more politically aware. We're educating ourselves, we're researching more, right? We're becoming more health conscious. All these different things are taking place. So you're not able to pull the wool over our eyes anymore. But we still have so many issues that we got to continue to work on. So we got to really look inward at ourselves and look at that accountability factor. Because a lot of this stuff can be remedied by our own work, our own admission. Our own work and our own admission, we could take care of it. We could solve a lot of our own problems. The problem is we want other people to solve our problems for us, though. We want the Democrats to solve black people problems. You want Republicans to solve black people problems when you have the ability to solve your own problems. Just requires work. That's all. That's why in the Holy Quran says Allah changes the not a condition of a people until they first change it themselves. Allah changes not the condition of a people until they first change it themselves. Meaning that God is not going to intervene in your affairs until you intervene into your own affairs and start making steps towards progress. Start working, start putting things in place, and then the God will assist you so that you'll be successful. See, the problem is that we have been taught and, trained about a mystery God, and that as long as you pray, that God is going to answer your prayers. That is totally non-biblical and non-scriptural and non-Quranic. The Bible says faith without works is dead. So you can have all the faith that something's going to happen, but if you don't put the work in, it's dead. Same concept. So we have to have that. We have to have that in our minds as we, as we moving about. So I wanted to touch on that, and I wanted to highlight something from the study guides that we've been studying for the last couple of weeks. So shout out to our Friday night study circle, where each and every Friday we have an opportunity to go into these books called the study guide, Self-Improvement, the Basis for Community Development, written by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in these books is exactly what the title says. It's a self-improvement guide. So it's easy for us to go into these study guides and begin the process of improving ourselves, which will ultimately help to develop our community better. Because you can't have a better community, but your household is a wreck. You can't have a better household if your community is a wreck. So, or if you are a wreck. So that's why the study guide says self-improvement is the basis for community development. So I'm going to read this from Study Guide 7, because this, to me, in my estimation, is one of the reasons why we suffer with the accountability. And shout out to the family that's just coming into the live right now. Brother Mike, what's going on, Brother Mike? And then I see, like I said, salute to Brother Nathan. I can't see the rest of the sites. I can only see the comments from YouTube and Facebook. But so appreciate y'all for tuning in. All right, so the minister wrote a letter on page 161 in study guide number 7, where he was dealing with fear. And he says that fear restricts, guilt restricts. Fear presupposes the absence of knowledge of what we fear. Guilt comes as a result of our knowledge of our violations of a standard behavior. So the minister's getting into fear and what happens when you have fear. And it presupposes the absence of knowledge of what we fear. So when you don't know something, then you fear something. When you don't know something, you're afraid of it. And what we have become is we have actually lost the knowledge of ourselves. And in losing the knowledge of ourselves, we forgot what we have done in the past. This is why we rely so heavily on these political sessions and these political seasons and these politicians getting into these offices, because we have placed all of our hope in them. I'm going to say it again. We have placed all of our hope in these politicians, so much so that we will throw our full support and fundraise for them, but won't fundraise for ourselves. All of that money they raise for the VP, but we haven't done that to build a black hospital. All the money that was raised for the VP, but we didn't do that to help fund a black independent school that's out here that could use a couple $1 million, right? That's actually investing in the education of our children, of the youth now. I just want us to think about this now. But it's the fear of our enemy that restricts us from these actions that actually have our best interests at heart. I want you to listen. The minister said fear restricts as well as guilt restricts. And fear presupposes the absence of knowledge of what we fear. See, so that fear, it's not that the fear itself or what we fear actually has power, but it's the fact that we give it power through our fear and through the lack of knowledge. That's why knowledge is so important. That's why knowledge is so important, because without that knowledge, then you become fearful, and then you won't act. And that's what has happened to us. That's what has happened to us. We are fearful of what will happen. And in the process of that, we won't make no moves. Student Minister Sharif says this: we are afraid of success. We are afraid of success. A lot of black people are afraid of success. So we make excuses on why we're not going to be successful. We make excuses on why we're not going to be successful. Now look, check this out. Another thing in the study guide. It says that the desire to attain a goal brings, let me read it this way, brings us face to face with difficulty. Wow. The desire to obtain a goal brings us face to face with difficulty. I'm still talking about black accountability, but listen to that now. If we desire to attain a goal, that's going to bring us face to face with difficulty. Now, how do we respond when we come face to face with difficulty? Now, it says when we undergo the trial of difficulty, the trial may be so intense that it extinguishes the light of the desire to attain the goal. Wow. See, the trial may be so intense that it will extinguish the desire to attain the goal. And I bet if you place that over Black America, the reason why we won't take the skills and the degrees and the trades that we have learned, and we've built Fortune 500 companies for other communities and for other people, and built businesses and ran labels and ran brands for other people, but will not and refuse to do it for ourselves. Is it because we are afraid to face the difficulty? Because we was brought face to face with it. Is it because of the success? Now you do have, and I'm not saying that you don't have successful Black people that are running businesses, running corporations, running brands, because we know that to be true. But I'm talking about on a collective scale. Now, I'm talking about once we've done it, how are we bringing the next person along? Because that's the thing. Are you duplicating yourself? What's going on, Brother Bam? Are you duplicating yourself? Because that's how other communities build on to what they're doing. See, one family comes in, they get successful. Then they go back and get another family. And then they duplicate themselves. Wash, rinse, and repeat. So now you went from 1 to 2 families. Now that family go and get another family. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Go from 2 to 3. So on and so forth. And they build it. Until eventually they're able to have a mini community, a mini conglomerate, right? A mini, and they build in a nation. They build in an empire. That's what they do. What do? We put the work in. We figure it out. We went to school. We get trained. We do it. We become successful. And then we go on about our business. See? Then we go on about our business. We don't reach back. We don't reach back and become and be accountable for bringing somebody else along. Okay, now that I know how to secure these grants, now that I know how to secure these business deals, now that I know how to secure these brand deals, let me go and help somebody. Let me go and get somebody. What's going on, Brother Kimante? Let me go and get somebody else so I can show them how to run the play. See? We don't want to coach. Everybody want to play. We don't want to coach. Show everybody how to run the play. When the name of the game is to build empire. If the name of the game is to build empire, it's not one family that's an empire. It's not one person that's an empire. Empires consist of many families, many different organizations, many businesses, many things going on inside of the one. Under the one is what an empire is. And see, Building empire is in our DNA. Bet you didn't know that. Empire is in our DNA. Kingdoms is in our DNA. Some of the early kingdoms in Africa. You're talking about the Mali civilization or the Mali Empire, right? In the Empire of Zimbabwe or the Kingdom of Zimbabwe. You had all of those Swahili-speaking kingdoms on the east coast of Africa. Huh? I'm talking about early civilization. 4,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 1,600 years ago. You know, these early civilizations where we was able to build infrastructure and have conglomerates, have empires, have kingdoms, because our mindset wasn't, oh, I'm going to get mine and go. But that's our mindset today. And this is why we don't have anything to show for it. We got a bunch of millionaires, but we still don't have nothing to show for it. We got a handful of billionaires, but we don't have anything to show for it. Well, why is that? Because you can't bring me a billionaire from another community and they don't have nothing to show for it. They'll be like, oh, no, this is our schools. And, my name is on this school. And we are in the process of building this school. And this is our grocery store here. And we are building, a clinic for our people. And we have the latest and greatest technology. That's how they billionaires talk. Because they doing stuff. They producing stuff for their people. What are we doing? Think about it. Black accountability in the community. So I just want us to think. So the minister talking about building the will says that the desire to attain a goal brings us face to face with difficulty. When we undergo the trial of difficulty, the trial may be so intense that it extinguishes the light of the desire to attain the goal. You ever wanted to do something? You ever was ready to do something and had your mind set on it, and then you start going in that direction, and then the difficulty come as soon as you get started a little bit. You haven't built up a lot of momentum, but you built up a little bit, and then you get hit with that difficulty, and that difficulty throw you off so much you be like, you know what? I don't even want to do this no more. Man, I see that every day. And as I reflect back on my life and as I, grow in life, I see these different things I participate in, and I see other people, and I'm like, oh, that difficulty. You're going to let that difficulty extinguish your light? See? You're going to let that difficulty extinguish your desire to attain what it is that you want to attain? Your goal? What's the overall goal? If the overall goal is to complete the mission that you started, then you shouldn't let nothing come in between you obtaining that goal. Now, of course, you're going to have some challenges. You're going to have some ups and downs. It's going to be rough. You're going to be wanting to quit. But listen, the minister said anything of value has a difficulty factor attached to it. Anything of value has a difficulty factor attached to it. So if it's valuable and you want it as bad as you say you want it, then you got to be prepared to fight for it. That's just how I go. So that includes our liberation. Now, many of us might not think that black people can be by themselves and govern themselves. You might not think that, which is kind of sad because we've had different examples of black people being able to do that. So that's why the knowledge is important. That's why knowledge is important. Because when you don't know your history, you don't know what you're capable of. And because the open enemy is the one that taught you your history, and he taught you were slaves and then sharecroppers, you think that's all that you're good for, is either being somebody's slave or sharecropping with somebody else instead of having your own. Right? Instead of having your own. So having the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding is very important to how your mind is going to think when it comes to these different things. Because, when you hear doing for self and building your own nation and doing all these different type of things, people hear that and they like, yeah, okay. Long as I've been alive, black people ain't never did nothing like that. So why would we think that's gonna happen now? Well, truth be told, is that it's happened for us in the past. We've had our own things. You know, the late great Dr. Martin Luther King, when he was talking about integration, he said that he feared that he integrated his people into a burning house. He integrated his people into a burning house. And see, what happened with integration is it took our guard down and it funneled the black dollars that was supporting the black businesses and the black movements and funneled it into our open enemies community, into his pocket. And because it funneled it into his pocket, he was now able to destabilize our freedom efforts. The same way they destabilize governments to this day and stop their revolutionary movements when they feel the pressure from the oppressor, and they come in with democracy and they go in to overthrow and install their own leadership. They did that in the black community. Everything that they do with their foreign policy, they did the same thing to black America. Yeah. Everything they did and do with their foreign policy, they done it to black America. And do it. So, listen to this. And it's funny, I did a Twitter space on this, and we was talking about the exodusters, right? Which was black people who were organizing to build their own cities and towns. So this was in Kansas. This is out west. This is in Kansas and Oklahoma. So this is how Black Wall Street got started. So black people who were in leadership position and had some money, had some influence, and they went out, they started organizing. So you got Benjamin Pap Singleton, who organized the Exodusters and founded Nicodemus, and Rattlebone Hollow, Hogstown, and many other towns in Kansas. Black man started organizing, founding towns, right? This was in the early 1800s. Then you had another brother who was an attorney by the name of Edwin P. McCabe, and he was a former clerk for the U.S. State's Treasury Department. These black people formed Oklahoma clubs and worked to make Oklahoma an all-black state. So look at the mindset that they had. The mindset was, we want to make the state black. We don't want to make the state blue. We don't want to make the state red. We want to make the state black. But in 2024, with all of our degrees and, all of our integration and all of our, identity politics, we don't want to make the state black. We don't want to do what's for our best interests. We want to fight to turn Georgia blue. We want to fight to turn Georgia red. And how has that helped us out so far? So it says that thousands of African-American families moved in and helped found 30 black towns, including Boley, Clearview, Tatum, Lima, and Langston, Oklahoma, where McCabe himself helped found Langston College in 1897. And Langston College is a HBCU and is still up and operating today. And you can go and, plenty of students go to Langston College, HBCU, right? But all of this was formed by families coming to make that state a black state. And from what I was told, one of the people in the space was saying their family was from Oklahoma and was, a part of those exodusters. They was able to trace their family back to that time. And they were part of that movement, that exodus into building your own black cities and black towns. And they sent out flyers and, they sent that out across the state and they sent that out across the country to all the black people. Say, hey, look, this is what we doing. Anybody that want to come and help, you can come help. See, you're going to have some of us that don't want to help. And that's fine. It don't take a whole lot of people. It just take a few. Just take a few good men and women. So a few good men and women made Oklahoma a black state. See? So we was able to do it. We was able to do it back then, before Instagram, before the internet, before we was going to college, before we had all the fancy education. We was doing stuff like this. Now you can't get none of the educated Negroes to do something for themselves. Now look, check this out. It says that Ottawa W. Gurley, known as OW, founded the Greenwood District. He was born in Huntsville, Alabama on Christmas Day in 1868 and educated in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, staking a claim in the Cherokee Outlet land run of 1893. Gurley and his wife opened a general store and founded Perry, Oklahoma. When he heard of the Glen oil strike, Gurley saw opportunity and moved to Tulsa in 1906. He bought land and opened another general store north of Tulsa's St. Louis and San Francisco or Frisco railroad tracks. So listen, man, brothers, people was moving in. See? People was moving in and taking advantage of the opportunity, bringing business, opening business, creating jobs. How many jobs have we created? With all of the technology and stuff we got today, how many jobs have we created? Now look at this right here. It says, sidestepping discrimination in the oil industry, blacks arriving in Tulsa prospered as maids, shoe shines, waiters, chauffeurs, cooks, barbers, mammies, and gardeners to the newly rich. So rich people was moving. Rich people was moving. Rich people was moving. Rich people was moving. And when the rich people moved and set up businesses and established themselves there, they hired the maids, the shoe shines, the waiters, the chauffeurs, the cooks, the barbers, the mammies, the gardeners. They hired them. That's how you hire your people. If you got a business and you do landscaping, I'm going to need gardeners. I'm going to need people to cut the grass. This is what you do. This is how you build your business. So it says, as spending multiplied, some blacks earned nice salaries, more than many white collar workers. Black people had money and needed places to spend it. Now this is the key point, because it's still tied into accountability in our community, because we can do this today. We could do this today. Look, they was circulating their dollar. It says black people had money and needed places to spend it. Listen to this now. Segregation produced a captive marketplace, and black entrepreneurs prospered. Meaning, because of segregation, you can't spend your money with white folks. Now you got a choice today. Integration, they gave you a choice. You can spend your money with who you want to spend it with, and that's part of the problem. To me, that's a huge problem. Black people got too many options and too many choices. To be in the condition we in today, we don't need no more options. Back then, segregation eliminated the options. The only place you could spend your money is with your people. So, because of that, black entrepreneurs prospered. John Williams, originally from Mississippi, opened an automobile repair shop, and then Williams Dreamland Theater, offering live stage shows, silent films, in addition to the air-conditioned Williams Confectionery. And John the Baptist Stratford bought properties and stores and completed the 54-room Stratford Hotel in 1918. So in 1918, they had an all-black 54-room hotel. And in 2018, we don't have no all-black 54-room hotel. We don't have, in 2024, we don't have no room hotel that we can call our own. We spend our money with Hilton, white family. We spend our money with Marriott, white family. We spend our money with Wyndham. We spend our money with Ritz-Carlton. These is all families. But we don't have not one black hotel that we can call our own and go and circulate our dollar with. They did in 1918, and they didn't have no bachelor's degree, no master's degree. They wasn't masters of business. They wasn't doctors of law. but we don't even have anything that we can call our own. This is why accountability in our community is so important, because why would you expect the government to give you something that you haven't even tried to give yourself? You haven't even tried to give yourself anything. A black hotel, a black auto repair shop for the most part, a black hospital. You haven't even tried. So why do you think they would even try to assist you in that? So it says, this thriving black commerce led to the emergence of the Dunbar Grade School, Booker T. Washington High School, pool rooms, barbershops, funeral homes, boarding houses, churches, Masonic lodges, dance halls, chalk joints, grocery stores, insurance agencies, law offices, medical and dental offices, and 2 newspapers. I can tell you right now, in Riverdale, Georgia, the Mexicans got their own insurance. And it's all written in Spanish. So, like, when you ride past it, they got their building and they say insurance on it, but it's all Spanish stuff. So you know that's like the Spanish insurance agency. They only service their people. You ain't going up in there and get no insurance because the paperwork ain't in English. The signage ain't in English. The people there don't speak English. Don't even think about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Where's the black insurance agency, though? Because y'all giving y'all money to State Farm, Geico, Progressive, in the general. Where the black insurance agencies at? Now, we got some black law offices. We do got that. We do have that. We do have some black dental offices somewhere in America. Shout out to Saya. Somewhere in America, you got some black dental offices, maybe a few black medical offices. We got some Masonic lodges. We in the lodge. Of course, we got black churches. You know what I mean? We got a couple of black funeral homes. So we got pieces. Barbershops. We got pieces. But the important ones, the schools, we ain't got that. We need that. We got them, but they're not funded properly. So we got to get behind the schools. The insurance agencies, we got to get that. The grocery stores, we got to get that. Essential stuff. Black newspapers. It's only one black newspaper. One. In America. And that's the Final Call newspaper. I'm not saying it just to like promote it that way. I'm saying it because we don't know of there being any other black newspapers. Back in the 30s or back in the late 30s, 40s, 50s, Pittsburgh Courier was black. There was a lot of different black newspapers then. But now there's no black newspapers outside of the Final Call newspaper. So here they had 2 newspapers. And it says, in just a few years, on or near Greenwood and Archer Streets, exciting sights, sounds, and smells inspired the captions The Black Wall Street and a regular Monte Carlo. And it says, as the Magic City grew with the steady influx of white settlers and fortune hunters, it became more like the rest of America, but with less law and order. So that's when stuff go down. When a certain people show up, stuff go down. Everything go left. You know, and the teachings tell us that after there are 600 years that it took to make these people, because he's made, he's not created. And after the 600 years of making the white man, he comes back to the Holy Land, and within 6 months, he started telling lies and causing the righteous to fight and kill one another. And they said that after a while, and as the city grew, a steady influx of white settlers came into the city, and it became more like the rest of America, but with less law and order. So as you can see, we don't have a problem building and growing and sustaining and living in peace and harmony. It's only when somebody else comes. And once they get there, then all hell break loose. And it's not just something that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but that's just a consistent pattern. It goes back to 6,000 years ago, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught us, these people show up, all hell break loose. They show up, all hell break loose. So, just like in the Holy Land, now people is fighting and killing one another. So we had to round them up. All of them that we could find. See? And we had to walk them across the burning sands. And it was 2,200 miles. So we had to put them out. So that's a lesson and a teaching. That's a part of our history, but that's a teaching on how we need to operate moving forward. When we get our own black cities up, when these people show up, no, sir. No, ma'am. You can come and shop, but you can't stay. You can come and shop, but you can't stay. You can come and shop, you can come eat, but you can't stay. See, them people, you gotta keep them people at arm's length. You got to keep them people at arm's length. So this is all about black accountability because we have the opportunity to do it. We have the ability to do it. But we got to be able to believe. We got to believe in ourselves. The history is there. The history is there. So let me see. Because we have some new people that popped up into the show tonight. So I'm your host, Brother King Cam, and this is Shifting the Culture podcast. Shout out to my brother Rafiq. I see him, brother. I see him. Brother Rafiq said, we've got to have the requisite faith to survive and stand the ground when Satan makes his move against the righteous. The Quran says the devil threatens you with poverty. He threatens you with fear. So God has to remove fear from his servants. God has to have not many. He only needs a few because he's not looking for quantity. He needs a few because he's looking for quality. So Gideon started off with 30,000 soldiers up against an army of 120,000, but God reduced it all the way down to 300, and the 300 sent to flight 10,000 times their number. The Final Call newspaper, September 2nd, 2024. Thank you for that, Brother Rafiq, because that's a good lesson for us to study, brother. The Holy Quran talks about the numbers and that Allah doesn't need many numbers to be successful. 100 can put to flight thousands. And that's what brother mentioned in this particular article for the Final Call newspaper. So it's not about the numbers. It's about the quality of the people quality of those numbers. All right. So while we understand that, this is what we have to do. Accountability in our community. Y'all let me know in the comment section, is it choppy or is it choppy on my end? It's looking like it's lagging on my end. Hit the comment section, let me know if it's lagging. I'm gonna keep pushing through though. So we have to be ready and willing to face our fears. We have to be ready and willing to face those difficulties that's gonna come before us. As soon as we have a desire to attain a goal, you're gonna come face to face with difficulty. We're gonna come face to face with difficulty, and we have to be ready to overcome. Have to be ready to overcome. So, and I wanted to bring this up because, like I said, people in their mind automatically assume that it's not able to be done. And because this was ultimately burned down, I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma now, that it was burned down, that we should not be able to do it again. Or we don't have the ability to do it again. And that's not true. We can do it again. We can do it bigger. We can do it better. And we can learn from the mistakes. That's the cool thing about history. You can actually go back, see what they did wrong, what you would do different, and you can actually do it better. Right? So that is the shift in the culture perspective. And that's what I want to encourage all of you all to have, is that shift in the culture perspective. Because you have a lot of people who are not encouraging critical thinking. A lot of people not encouraging you to critically think. As I was talking about earlier, when it comes to this political season, it's not a lot of critical thinking that's taking place, and they're not encouraging it. They are literally, you have both sides fanning the flames, trying to push you into one particular box or another. And that's just plain. They're trying to push you into a particular box or another and stopping you from critically thinking. They want to stop you from critically thinking, because if you critically think, then you're going to start asking questions out of the box. And when you ask questions out of the box, now you are solution oriented as a person. And that's how we all should be. We should all be solution oriented. Is what you bringing to me, is it solving a problem? Because if what you're bringing to me is not solving a problem, I don't want it. I don't want it. You know, we have to be, and maybe we need to continue to have somebody who's going to keep us aware of the problems that we have. Because maybe some of us don't think we have no problems that need to be solved. I know I see it all the time. We see it all the time. Problems that need to be solved. Problems that need to be done. Worked on. And if we're not working on them, who else gonna work on them? Who else gonna work on them? So it's accountability. You know, I saw something earlier. I posted it on my Instagram page. Wallow was doing an interview and he was talking about people being in their lane. And matter of fact, I can play the clip. Let's see. Oh, hold up. Because this is pretty cool. And it applies to our community. And it applies to us. Because if we did this, again, it go back to what I was saying earlier about each one teaching one. So look, check this out.
You got to shop, but you got to know your role. Know your strengths, align with your weaknesses. Know your strengths and hire your weaknesses. One thing about me, my whole life, I've been a hype man. I've been a DJ. I've been security. I did everything because I knew that at the end of the day, and it's crazy. Artists will tell you this. When I came home from jail, rest in peace. When I came home from jail, shout out to my man, rest in peace at PNB Rock. I'm running around in New York City with PNB Rock, going to get blunts, going to get food. Now, this is my homeboy that's managing. This is little homie, but Rock is a youngin', and he's showing me love, taking me to the station, doing everything. And dude's like, damn, Wallow, why you in the cut? No, I'm just here to amplify a shine, man. You got your clothes, what you need? You need some uptowns?
But where does that come from?
It comes from.
Why do you have that ability to be able to support people like that, knowing that you could be a star yourself? People don't got that ability.
I want a motherfucking ring. I get a ring even if I'm the towel boy. Niggas gotta understand that. Right. Because you ain't gonna get a ring by yourself because you ain't got it by yourself, baby. But I'm gonna get a ring if I'm the towel boy.
I'm gonna get a ring.
I want rings, bro. I don't want no, they like me on the gram. This chick in my DM. Bro, you ain't got no traction, bro. Ain't nobody, listen, you ain't selling no hard tickets, bro. That shit hype. That IG, you bought them followers, you bought them streams. You don't even move now. You ain't doing that money. Nobody talking like that because the black community now, it ain't like the black community that we grew up in, whereas though, you tell a nigga he'll suck it. Ain't nothing, that shit corny you got on. That's hating. You hurt my feelings. You tearing down a black person. All this super sensitive bullshit. That's why it's fucked up in the culture and everybody out.
Yeah, see. So what Wallow is pointing our attention to is the fact that, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about us becoming successful and then using the same formula to get somebody else that's in our community successful and not hogging it and keeping it for ourselves. And, you know, and understanding that everybody's not going to be the front person. Everybody's not going to be the one that's out front. But the one out front, if he's going to or she going to be the engine to how we get up out the hood, how we get up out the trap, then why wouldn't you help that person? Because eventually helping that person helps you. Because that person can't do everything. If they out doing the talking and they doing the representing and everything like that, who handling the scheduling? Who handling the booking? Who handling the travel? Who handling the wardrobe? Who handling the finances? Who handling the brand deals? All that got to be done by somebody. They got to be email correspondence that's taking place. They got to be phone calls that's made. All of these meetings that's had. Who gonna do that? Somebody got to do that, and somebody get paid to do it. Are you trying to get paper, or do you want to be famous? Do you want shine? Do you want clout? Because if it's about clout, just say that, and then you can go on and do your own thing. But that's what I'm saying. Most of these people, they buying followers. I got a client that I'm working with right now, doing social media management for them, and I'm posting on their page, right? And I'm taking the content, I'm consulting them on how to create the content, how to make it engaging, and all these different things. And as I'm posting the content and things like that, I'm wondering, I'm hashtagging, I'm doing my thing, and it's not getting no traction. So we have our weekly strategy meeting, and then come to find out in the weekly strategy meeting, oh yeah, matter of fact, we bought, you know what I'm saying, like some of them followers. So now I'm like, yo, now it's clicking. Because if you didn't have organic followers to begin with, you're not going to have engagement. So the engagement is very low because you don't have real followers. Now this account got a couple thousand, it's not double digits, but it got a couple thousand followers. And I'm wondering why there's no engagement there, even after the hashtags. The reason why is because the algorithm is set up now to shadow ban accounts that don't get regular engagement. And because this account doesn't get regular engagement because they don't have real followers, the account now has been shadow banned. So even with the hashtags, the account is not being seen. So who is to know actually how many people are actually even seeing this content? That are actually real people. So that goes to what Wallow was saying, that you don't have no real motion. You don't have no real engagement. You don't have nothing really shaking right now. Like he said, you ain't selling no hard tickets. You're not really getting no views. You're not really getting no engagement. So you don't have no traction like that. People not really recognizing you when you in the street. You don't got no traction, bro. So if that's the case, why not help the one that got the traction? Why not help the one that got the heat? Why not help the one that's making the moves that got the motion? That's because your thinking is not about winning. Your thinking is about shining. How you gonna shine? How you the man? How you the woman? And that is that goes against the grain. That goes against what we trying to build. That goes against everything that we trying to build. That's just it. Crab in the barrel mentality. We a nation, we a team, we should be working together. Like I said, all of these entities that you see operating out here in the public, they got everything and everybody working for them in the background. People getting paid. You trying to feed your family, not be famous. Being famous don't automatically mean that you feeding your family. And this is why we had to learn business and why business was omitted from us. Because what the enemy did was they found out how to attach themselves to talent. And they knew we as a people were talented people. So the enemy said, if I can attach myself to the talent and do the business for the talent, then I can set up a situation for myself where I can send my children to private school. I can set myself up for generational wealth and set my family up for generational wealth while the famous person dies broke because they don't understand business. They don't understand the important intricacies that take place to keep this engine running. So they took advantage of that. And we today don't even want to help our own people out. They don't even want to help their own people out. And that's why Wallow said, you don't even have no traction out here, bro. What you talking about? What you about to do? Why you can't help nobody else? It's not like you got nothing going on. You work a regular job like everybody else. But what else you doing? That's what I'm saying. Be the road manager. Wallow said I was willing to be anything. I was the DJ. Why? Because Gilly had all the motion. Gilly had the motion. Gilly had the traction. So let me help him. Okay, boom. When Wallow came home, he was rolling with PNB Rock. PNB Rock, R.I.P. to him, had motion in the streets, right? Moving around. He got records. He got he got stuff going on. So Wallow saying, listen, let me help you. Let me amplify your shine. What you need? How can I help? What can I do to add value? So in the process of adding value, PNB like, yo, I got you. I'm about to plug you with such and such. So now he rolling. Yo, this my man Wallow, da-da-da-da. So now Wallow making relationships and building contacts and doing all of these different things. I'm just breaking it down for you so you can understand what Wallow was giving us in that particular moment. See, he was giving us that gem. He was humble enough to humble himself and to say, listen, I'm trying to build something, but the way that I build is by serving. See, the way that you build, the way that you get ahead, the way that you exalt yourself, the way that you get exalted, we don't exalt ourselves. That's the problem. I highlighted the problem right there. We want to exalt ourselves, but we want God to exalt us. So the way that God exalts us is by submission, being humble. The more you humble yourself, the more God will exalt you. See, the more you'll be lifted up. But you got to be willing to get low. See, Wallow was willing to get low. So because Wallow was willing to get low, God lifted him up. Said, I can use you because you can be taught. You can be molded. You can be shaped. You don't know it all. Problem with too many young black men is they think they know it all, so they don't have enough humility in them to listen. We as a people, as a community, we done went to school and got the fine degrees. So if you don't have those same fine degrees that I do, then I think I'm better. And because I think I'm better, I think I know more. I think I know better. And I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to unite with you. I'm not going to partner with you. I'm not going to work with you. That's the mentality. That's why we don't have nothing to show for it. See, the proof is in the pudding. That's what the OGs used to say. That's what old school used to say. That's what our grandparents used to say. Look, the proof is in the pudding. So you can talk all that talk you want. But the proof is in the pudding. Meaning meaning you gonna know if it's good, if it's legit, because when you taste it, it's there. So black people can talk all the stuff they want to talk. But when you look out, you don't see no black town, no black state, no black city. For real. And I'm talking about black people running it. I ain't talking about just places where there's a lot of black people. I'm talking about in government and leadership. I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma black. Not Atlanta black. Tulsa, Oklahoma black. Or late 80s, the 80s and 90s Detroit black. Where they was really running the city. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have that. So the proof is in the pudding. You see that we don't have nothing to show for it because it's there. It's available. You look up. You see it's there. So we got to change that. The way we change that is to changing our mindset and taking accountability. That's how we change that. All right? That's how we change that. And that's why we do what we do, shifting the culture. Right? We got to shift the mindset, shift the thinking, shift the way that we absorb and take in information and how we process it and where we put it. It's all part of that because the mind is what governs the body and the actions of the body. So if the mind is shaped one way, then the body gonna do what the body gonna do based off of how the mind is shaped. So because we don't believe that we can be independent, we don't believe that we can build our own institutions. In the mind, it hasn't formalized itself into physical reality, so you don't see it. Billionaires that's black, they don't funnel money into these different endeavors because they don't believe in it. Millionaires that's black, they don't believe in it. So they're not assisting in it the way that they should to help it get it off the ground. So we got to have accountability in our community and take back our own freedom, justice, and equality, freedom and liberation fight of ourselves, because if we don't take it seriously, you won't think and expect nobody else to take it seriously. And they're not going to help you with nothing they don't see you putting the work in. And that's with anything. You can't come to somebody for help and they ask you, okay, well, how much have you put into this idea that you have? Oh, I ain't put nothing in it. Why you think I'm gonna put something in it? I can't help you more than you want to help yourself. So how could we go talking about reparations? Go talking about what we owe, which we are. Not only from the U.S. government, but multi-million-dollar businesses and corporations. See, other entities, including plantations and schools, institutions of higher learning. All of these things were founded on the backs of slaves and our ancestors. That's true. So yes, we deserve that. And that in itself is a case that we can make. However, to add to that case is the fact that we building something on our own. And because you owe us that and we built this, yeah, we're going to need that. Yeah, we're going to need that or we ready to crash out about it. You feel me? So that's how we got to think though. But we can't go begging. That's what we can't do. And when you don't have nothing and you come and ask for something, you look like a beggar. Even though in your mind, you not that. I ain't begging. We ain't begging them. But that's what you look like. If you're not that, then that's what you look like because of the way you set up. The way you presented yourself, you look like a beggar. So we got to be better with that, family. So accountability in the Black community is something that I'm calling for, that I'm asking for. Those who would like to be a part of the Shifting the Culture podcast community, you can text the words STC podcast to 888-294-2793. It is scrolling at the bottom, family. Let me know what city and state that you're tuning in from in the comment section. I love to hear from you. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight for this timely conversation. And just make sure that you're following me on all social media platforms because we host these conversations not only on the podcast, but we on Twitter Space. We be in Clubhouse sometimes. You know what I mean? So just anytime that you're able to tune into what we're doing, because I believe media is very important. And this is actually historically proven that propaganda is one of the weapons of war. So we have to be able to control our narrative. And that was the number one reason why I got into podcasting, was so that we could control our narrative. That was the whole purpose. I wanted to control the narrative. I was sick of listening to the narrative being controlled on mainstream media. But guess what? Just like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we're going to be as big as we make ourselves. Tulsa, Oklahoma became big because they supported it. They took their hard-earned money and invested in it. So what I am looking to do, family, is with my brand, I am looking for supporters. And I always call my people supporters and not followers anyway. So if you tapping in, you're not a follower of mine, you are a supporter of mine. But what I want to do is take it to the next level and actually start to give access to my brand, Brother King Cam, and Shifting the Culture podcast brand as well, where I want to give my supporters shares in the company. Now, you may or you may not be aware of these opportunities, but having shares in a company gives you equity in a company, right? And it helps build the value of the company. So people who have shares in a company help to contribute to its success, right? Your voice is heard, you put your input in, you do all those different things. So, if we working for the people, then the people should have equity in what they're working for. That's only equal. That's only fair. So, that's one of the things that I want to do. So I want to begin to have an equity or shares available in my brand to those who would like to have them. And this is at no cost to you. The only thing that I would be asking you to do, family, is to share the content and to download the app. Those are the only two things that you got to do, is download the app and share the content. Download the app, share the content. 2 things, and it costs you no money. Not asking you for any money. Okay? So if that's something that you'll be interested in, then stay tuned because we're working on the back end right now. And in the process of us working on that back end, we will be able to make this available for you. Just getting the QR code together. But we'll be making it available for you. And all you have to do is share the content out as well as download the app, and that's it. And then you will actually receive shares of the company. You'll receive them, email to you. So we are in the process of working on that. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, because I think it's important that if you are supporting something, that you contribute to it in a way that's beneficial for everybody. And this is a way that's beneficial for everybody because you all bring value to the platform just like the platform brings value to you. You all bring value to the platform just as the platform brings value to you. So if that's something that you are interested in participating in, then stay tuned because I'll be putting out information on that, and we'll actually be bringing somebody on that will help to explain why this is very important. So stay tuned for that interview as well. So other than that, though, we're gonna go ahead and close this thing down for the night. We're gonna go ahead and close this thing down for the night. But I want us to think about what we talked about, the importance of accountability, why we have to be accountable, why we have to take back our liberation and freedom fight, because it's not on anybody else to do anything for us, and any self-respecting people are not going to respect the people who don't respect themselves. If you are say that you're fighting for liberation and you want these different things and you're demanding these different things, well, where's the pressure? When white people say they demand this stuff, they apply pressure. When the Asians got to get some stuff done, they're going to apply pressure. Where's the pressure from us as a people? Where is the urgency from us as a people? Where is the collective unity of us as a people? If you say that you're trying to accomplish what you say that you're trying to accomplish. Now, if you're not, then you're not. But that's a whole nother ball game. But if you are, where's the pressure? All right? So ask yourself that, family. I appreciate you all for listening. And may Allah continue to bless you with the light of understanding. Assalamu alaikum.